Okay, um, very welcome to our today's session. I'm your host and collaborator and facilitator, Marathi Balishad, and we are going to learn our online course. One of the episode, the next episode, is probably the episode number 3, and what we are going to cover. That course basically title is addiction, how to quit any addiction, and we are trying to truly understanding the meaning of addiction, the nature of addiction, and the truth about addiction. Um, Somebody's here. Okay, so and it is more than addiction, because the reason why the addiction is has the root cause generated or uh, or come from the pain body. When you have the burden of too much things from generation to generation, or within your life complexity, that complexity, that confusion, and that mismanagement can lead you towards path of addiction. And when you are addicted to number of things, for example, alcohol, smoking, gambling, video games, too much screen time, money making, sexual activity, too much eating addiction, uh, and many other things of addiction, then that start to torture you. You start to feel self-harm feeling, and that self-harm or self-torture leads you to very mediocre or on a path of failure. And the main goal of this class is to help you to identify whether you are not addicted of something which you don't know, and if it is, then you should have a clear vision how to give up that addiction, and more importantly, after give up, how we can recover it. So it's a very, very exclusive class. um, and the realms and the areas which cover that class is psychology. It's a self-help. It has a philosophical foundation, sociological or anthropological foundation. It is academic at the same time very practical, and more importantly, it has a spiritual dimension, that we will understand why people addict to heroin, wine, or many other activities which we often are in guilty. So today episode will be talk about, I will share you later, like in few seconds, but always remember our origin, our our beingness, which we are, always need happiness, always need pleasure. We love to being a joyful person, and we share and we want to hear and see delightful things. So this is our basic need and nature of our being. And if we are not happy and we don't have pleasure, we don't have joyness, then we are in trouble. Then that will we are going to into deception, and that deception will be in many forms, whether we can be trapped in video games, smoking, drugs, alcohol, too much money making, or sexual activities, or pornography is nowadays is very common, gambling, and so many other things we go. Why? Because we are missing these things. So we basically are trapped in addiction for sake of these things: happiness, pleasure, joy, and delightfulness. Now, what will happen if we choose these addictive paths? Then what happens? We will experience temporarily happiness. There is no doubt about that. I mean, when any person have a drink of wine, I mean, that person is really, really happy and in in a very delightful mode, and feel very relaxed. Anybody who is trying to make a big deal in money, like many millions dollar money, if that person earns or save, that gives a feeling, of course. Nowadays, nowadays, a very complex video games. Everybody loves to play on iPad, on P4, P5s. So there are game consoles in every home and even offices, and they try to make themselves very happier and very passionate and something. And gambling and of course opposite sexual attraction is a big uh, temptation for any gender. So we go to the peak of pleasure, but it's very temporarily. It lasts for a couple of minutes or maybe a couple of hours. But after that, we again needs to experience happiness, pleasure, and joy and delightfulness. And of course, we cannot get this happiness, pleasure, joyfulness, delightfulness, or state of peace every time, every next hour, because our lifestyle um, does not give us space to feel them on permanent basis. So we experience addiction now. Okay. And that we have discussed in our last two episodes. Now we will read and learn quickly today a couple of slides, and these are about how energy fields help you and um, to identify addiction, and what it takes you into the field of addiction, what energy fields you get. And you may know about, anybody knows about ecstasy? Anybody knows or anybody has taken this? I mean, these are the medicine as well, named with ecstasy. Anybody, Jenny or Javeri, are you familiar with this term?
No, I don't know about.
Okay, okay. So ecstasy basically is a state of happiness where you experience amazing energy and you overcome your all negative energies, and that is very good state of mind, but rather it's a state of consciousness. Okay. And when we addict with any activity, addictive activity, then we try to reach on this state of consciousness. Ecstasy is a very important learning you are doing right now. So let's try to, and when we are in ecstasy, then what happens? We feel so much higher energy. We get rid of our lower energy field, like fear, depression, hate, craziness, desired, you know, cry, sadness, sorrow. So these are the low energy fields. So when we are in ecstasy, then we are on a higher energy field. and then we feel very relaxed. But of course, like I said before, it's a very temporarily, okay, and it's not the right path to be addicted on a regular basis. Otherwise, we die earlier. Otherwise, we become victim of too much fatal diseases. Our lungs, our heart, our brain, our breathing system, respiratory system, that can be in trouble, or they got faulty, and then you can die early. So that is a big risk if we stay longer. So let's try to read it. I will show you. Here is, these are the um, ecstasy tablets in the market. And probably, I don't know in America or in UK, if we can these ecstasy tablets or drugs from our local pharmacy, or it has to be referred by psychiatrist or some doctor. I'm not sure because I did not use them, but but they are available everywhere, and very well aware people like you, they go for them for a temporary relaxation. Um, so let's start our reading for today and see. Uh, and if you see that old man is in a state of ecstasy, okay? And he is in too much joyfulness right now in the picture, okay? So just feel it, okay? So let's start to read it. So I would ask my friend and colleague Jenny if she can start reading, please.
Energy fields and addiction. Now we can understand what happens in the drug or alcohol experience. This powerfully attractive, joyful energy field, the energy field of life itself, is like the sun that is always shining. The lower energy fields are like the clouds that block the experience of that inner sun. A drug or alcohol blocks off the experience of the lower energy fields and allows the experience of a higher energy field. If we could block off all the energy fields below level 560, we could experience what is left, which is the energy field of ecstasy.
Excellent. Somebody, I think, is joining our class. Let me see. It's Nadia Da Silva. Okay. Okay. So let's go back. Okay. Thank you very much, Jenny. It's amazing and great reading. So we are at the level of 560 when we feel the state of ecstasy. Okay, let's go further. And when we are nearby ecstasy, then we also at the state of mellow. Mellow is the state also that is is a permanent state of, or a longer period of state of happiness, um, and we can our drugs or pharmacies are very good in order to sell these medicine. But remember, the good news, these drugs and these tablets are not addictive. Like if you take it on a regular basis, you won't be addicted. So that's, it's a great news. It's a good invention and a great practice the medical practitioner they offer to their patient. So, but let's see, and we can read it. So I would ask Javeria if you can read it, please.
There is Even a designer drug called ecstasy created specifically to block off the experience of the energy field below 560. With the drug experience, something has uh, pharmacologically blocked off the lower energy field and allowed the obstruct, obstructed experience of the higher one. Thus, at the end of the day, the person who is full of fear, grief, regret, and anxiety stops in for two martins, uh, martinis and suddenly temporarily jumps over the lower energy field and moves up to the energy level about 500, which can call mellow, which can
Yeah,
be called mellow.
excellent. Thank you, Zaveri. It's a great reading. So, and that we are achieving through our medical science is a amazing, like I said, discovery and invention. And at this state, also, um, it is a state, mellow is a state when, according to Dr. David Hawkins, when husband takes the flower for for his wife in the home and takes the toys for the children at home. I mean, um, of course, a modern man, a very well modern man, a male husband, when that person is around mellow state, around energy state 500, and it is his regular activities to go home with an amazing spirit, like flower for the wife, and lot of toys for the kids, and living an amazing, very delightful life. And we can see these people are come across in our daily life. Probably they are relatives, they are our friends, family, or colleagues, but they are very few, but they are certainly, and their energy level is amazing. But of course, their energy level is not based on addiction. Okay, their energy level is maintained because of other natural paths to maintain these energy. Okay, and what are these paths? How a person can be at mellow state, at delightful state, at a player state most of the time or all the time, and more importantly, how they can sustain on that state. This is a multi-millionaire question. But the good news, which I'm sharing with you, you can achieve that state permanently. Uh, and that's why I designed this course for you. So you need to be with me for next couple of episodes, like couple of Sundays, and then we will learn all these things. Okay. So here I can read it for you, and then we can go for further. The mellow is that energy field where we feel love for everybody and are willing to forgive them. We are generous and easygoing, and all the kids love us when we are in that state. We take toys home for the children and flowers for our spouse. This high energy state is sought in the drug experience because it blocks off the lower energy levels. As said before, these are addicting experiences, because once having experienced the state, the mind wants to return to it. So, um, so that's is an important line which, so once we addict of these experience, okay, then we want to go back again, okay, and again, and that will go further. Um, it is exactly when, for example, if somebody is addict of wine or alcohol, okay, and what happened? Every time when they take the drink one time or time, if he or she takes one pack, two pack, and feel relaxed, feel delightfulness, then what happened? The next time that dose, the same amount of dose, will not entertain that person as it was before. And then what happened? We will increase the dose of that substance. Here in this state, it is wine. In other case, a person can be addicted with heroin. Any person can addict to making too much money. Other person can addict of smoking. They start to smoke, uh, cigarette like we yeah, okay. Sorry, I think because I'm running my presentation from my iPad, I think it got restarting. I apologize. Uh, Let me start uh, my screen. Yeah. So Nadia, can you hear me? Okay. And Javeria, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Okay. No problem. So let's continue. I will read it, this one, and then you can help me to read next one. So he's saying when we ask the person who had an alcohol or addiction problem, here you can add your any addiction. So it's just an example of alcohol. So you can add your addiction if you are addicted to something. So when we ask the person who has had an alcohol or addiction problem to look at what they are seeking, to look at the experience that has become habitual, to which they want to return, which over and again, no matter what the price, we find. Okay, let me see. I think that Jenny was here. Sorry for interruption. Let me double check. Oh, hello. Hi, Jenny. Are you in the class?
Well, no, I'm not. But somebody made me the host real quick, and so I logged off, and I don't
Okay.
know what happened. Does it show that I'm on the class now? I
No.
logged off. I want to make sure that
Yeah,
I'm on there.
I think it's go off probably. But my computer, I'm running this class from my iPad, and my Zoom software start automatically. So maybe something problem from my side. But now it's okay.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure, with that last thing that
Yeah,
happened,
yeah,
with that class member, I was like, oh,
yeah.
gosh, here we go.
No problem. I think you can come safely again.
Okay.
So,
Oh, Lord. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. No problem. Bye. Bye. Okay, Nadia, can you hear me? Okay. Can you hear me, Nadia? Okay. Um, okay. Can you? Okay. Okay. So Nadia, are you able to type any text message? Because we only allow the people who we can recognize. So just if you can type any message, or you can unmute your microphone, and just I want to talk with you if that possible. Is that possible, Nadia? Can you speak or type any message? Because of the security reason, otherwise I have to remove you from the list, because sometimes some virus or some other things come as well. If you know what I'm trying to say. Okay. So Nadia, are you able to type any message? Okay. Let me see. Okay. I think maybe there is. Okay. So probably I will remove Nadia. We don't know who is that Nadia. So Nadia da Silva, I need to remove you, unfortunately. Let me double do. Okay, Javeria, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, okay. I think the Jenny is coming again. So maybe that Nadia da Silva is a virus. So I remove them, because sometimes they start to control the things, you know. So okay. Okay, so let's come back to our resume, our class. So he's saying that in reality, they do not even care about the drug itself. The drug is only the mechanics, the only way they know to access that state at that time. So it is very crystal clear that uh, anything which we use that basically hit to our consciousness. So let's go further, and I would ask Javeria to read it, please.
Yes, but screen is not showing here.
Yeah, mine isn't either. We just have each other on the screen now.
Oh, oh my God. Sorry. Okay, maybe I need to share my screen again. Um, okay. Now you can see.
No, we just see each other.
Yeah.
Oh, oh my God, what's happening? Yeah. Now you can see.
Here it is. We can see.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Apologies. I think that from next week it won't be happen because I have multiple machines in my office. So that's I'm on iPad, and that has a very limited stuff to control too. So yeah, so Javeria, go ahead and read it, please.
Yeah. It is a certain way of experiencing their own beingness, and it is a pleasurable, highly energized state. This is what they seek, and if a drug does not block off the lower energy field but thereby preventing them from experiencing the inner state of blissfulness, it is no longer used to value. We can see that uh, the addiction is not the drug or alcohol per se, but to the higher level of consciousness itself.
Wonderful. Thank you, Secretary. So the bottom line, which we have just learned, this one. So basically, any person who is addicted uh, is not addicted with alcohol, drugs, money, sex, but that person is addicted to higher level of consciousness itself. That is important. For example, this lady or this person, okay, and that person is experiencing a fear or depression. And what happened? That person start to use alcohol or drugs to experience the higher level. Okay, and like I said, we have a blessed time where pharmacy or doctors and pharmacologically we are able to make certain medicine which remove our fear, anxiety, depression, and take to our mellow or ecstasy state of mind, and uh, and that's a good thing. So let's read it and what Dr. David Hawkins is saying. So I would request Jenny if you can read it.
Certain psychological explanations of addiction try to present it as though the person is addicted to alcohol or drugs because they are running away from the lower experience of fear or depression. There are some excellent medicines that eliminate the anxiety or depression, but do not result in addiction as there is no high. Therefore, the alleviation of depression, anxiety, fear, or anger is well handled pharmacologically by traditional medicines that are not considered addictive substances because they do not block off the energy fields at a sufficient level to allow people to experience the higher state.
Yeah, that's right. And that's again a good news as well. So when a person like raises his or her consciousness or experience of joyfulness from ecstasy or mellow moon, or then they cannot go further. Like what are the next levels of happiness, peace, um, enlightenment, love. Okay, so these are further higher levels, but these tablets or drugs have a capacity not to exceed. So that's a good thing. So it's very controllable. Okay, now there is a big learning of the day is coming. And I would ask Jenny if she can continue to read it.
We can see that the person is addicted to the energy field within, to that higher state of consciousness, which creates the desire to return to it. That person is willing to pay the price because the mind begins to demand the return to that experience, no matter what the cost. The willingness to pay increases with time so that finally, in the end, it will ask for the body itself. If you keep on drinking like that, you're going to be dead within weeks or months.
Yeah, it's a great reading and well narrated by Dr. David Hawkins. So at the time now, okay, you are in malice state, okay, you are now in ecstasy state and joyfulness state, okay, but now the body is fed up. You are abusing body, man. What you are doing now, you continuously using different addiction to hurt the body in form of emotion, in form of higher thoughts, in form of physical organ are damaging. Let's say if you are addicted to alcohol, your kidneys are damaging now. You are addicting your heart as well. Now you are at high risk of higher cholesterol, and that lead to the heart attack or stroke. So now body here start to feel really, really offensive. Okay, because we are abusing the body. So you know that the person does about that. He does across the street to the bartender, his old friend or pal named Joe, orders a martini. Martini is a very popular brand of wine, and says, "Guess what the doctor told me today?" At that point, bartender hands him a drink of for a good old times, and they kiss the body goodbye. We see the price, and people are willingly to pay for the addiction to this state of consciousness. You, you see how the people are crazy now, and at this state, they don't care. Their children are at mess. Their spouse is at mess. Their business is going to be ruining by other people because that person is not in senses, and other people are now destroying that person business or anything, any contribution that person, and that is the big tragedy of with that addictive person. You see what the price is going, and sooner or later that person is dying and will be dead. Okay. um, and that's the last thing that is saying it mystifies people who have not accessed that level of consciousness through a drug experience. The addict or alcoholic is willing to sacrifice everything in order to return to this energy field that we call peace or bliss, the inner Shangri-La. Anybody remember what is a Shangri-La story is?
Yes, I watched the movie as
Oh,
well.
wow. Amazing. Yeah. And that movie is called, the title is Lost Horizon. And
Yes,
that movie tells us the story of a motive of addiction by showing the willingness to sacrifice all life for a certain state of consciousness. Like the hero of the movie, when he goes back to his, I think, England, and that person uh, actually went into the lower state of consciousness. And then he wishes that he wants to go back Shangri-La, which is state in Himalayas mountain. It's a city of higher consciousness, city of delightful and joyfulness. And then he takes the risk, too much risk, to go back and eventually he is successful to go back to reach that consciousness. So when a person is addicted to wine or anything, so when anything or drug or tablets or psychedelics as well, smoking, sexual activities. So what happens uh, if that is over feeling person have about that state of consciousness, then he or she will continue to do this, continue to consume these substances until they die, unfortunately. I know many person in my family, they die uh, because of too much dose uh, of psychedelics and drugs they used to take. Uh, and of course, the whole family was in trauma. And unfortunately, our old society, Britain society, American society, or Indian society, Australian society, Canadian society, Middle East, Afghanistan, Iran, Pakistan, uh, or even Asian, they all are addicted with drugs very, very badly. They all are, or mostly are, addicted with pornography. They all are drug addicted with smoking, alcohol, heroin, cocaine, uh, and what they all are doing, they trying to go to the higher consciousness in a very poorly way, and that's why they die very early, and their spouses, children, parents, family, relatives, and society have to suffer, unfortunately. So in we will continue, okay, and we will continue to learn further. Now, in the next episode, we will learn why give up an addiction. We have understood so far what addiction does, what actually addiction mean, okay? And next, we will learn other reason why people are addicted and why to stop it. We know that uh, clearly, but we will learn more secrets about addiction. How does it sound so far for both Jenny and Javeria?
Well, I'll tell you, we're taking a logical approach to addiction, but when
Yeah,
someone's addicted, they're not logical, that they're in a state of insanity and
yeah,
obsession. So as
yeah,
much as if I were addicted to drugs right now, let's just say I'm a heroin addict of some sort.
yeah,
I would need some serious help, I would need
yeah,
a rehabilitation program, maybe even some sort of detox medically or something like that, and
yeah.
a lifestyle change. It
Of
wouldn't
course,
be, I don't think a logical approach would not work on me if I
yeah,
were addicted to heroin today.
yeah. I understand. I appreciate your straightforwardness and attachment to help you out to come out from the thing. We all have some sort of addiction, uh, and the great thing, the courageous people only uh, give up the addiction. And you are on the right place with me and in your life.
And
Uh,
I think people don't understand one key factor of addiction besides the obsession itself. Addiction is behavioral. It is a
yeah,
behavioral problem that you
mhm,
have where you are willing to do whatever it takes for your addiction. And
yeah,
if they can get to the root of the behavior that makes them make those choices, it's really, it goes so much deeper than the drug or the alcohol or the sex or whatever it is that's
Yeah,
controlling you. It's all behavioral at the end of the line, but it
it
becomes
is
physical, it becomes mental, it's insanity, it's so many different things.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. If we see the consciousness lower map and at the bottom line, when we are on a very lowest emotional state of life, which is shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, and that all emotions uh, take us on a very illogical behavior, and we have a seriously behavior problem, like you are saying, and the roots or backup or behind the behavior, these emotionals are triggering things for that person. So that's why we need to identify which level of emotion I am at the moment. Am I feeling fear? Am I angry most of the time? Or so if I am, then I need to know where I'm my energy level. And of course, let's say if I have some anger issue and my anger is resonate at 150. So I am here at 150 and I have now known that I need to take 150 to 600 or 540, where I feel ecstasy or joyfulness. And that path I need to follow now. And my course is basically telling you, is educating you and myself that how we need to jump step by step from a lower emotional, which is my illogical human behavior, to the some meaningful behavior. How? What are the step by step? And that's we are here. Uh, and that we will continue to learn. If you see the course outline of this, so we basically um, finish our 2 points. The truth about addiction that we finished last time. This and today we learned energy fields and addiction. Okay. Next week I will bring why give up an addiction, why you don't need to take pills or tablets, and why you need to. So of course that will give you and myself a logical explanation as well, which will help us to correct our behavior as well. And then next week, we will learn the process of consciousness in recovery, and it will work with 12 steps to quit any addiction, including pills or the behavior problem. And then at the last, we will also learn once we give up anything, then what I need to do. And that is also very important, how to maintain that quitness, that quitting addiction. So that is a very exclusive, uh, I mean, the content which I will bring for you and bring for myself. So hopefully by end of few weeks, uh, you will be very crystal clear, Jenny, that where you need to start and how you can overcome of any addiction, you or myself, wherever we are in state of life. So it was a great question, uh, and also it was a great concern. I appreciate it, Jenny. So let's continue to next Sunday, and my flight is on Tuesday to back to England. So hopefully I will reach there safe, and will meet you next Sunday from my office. Thank you very much for participation.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much. We'll see you next week.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Maria. Have a safe
Bye.
trip back, Mirtib.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye. Bye.
Bye.